This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Hey, all of it, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 16, episode number 3527. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my cock, Montgomery. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, Ryan Castle joins us once again, and we will sit and spin now. Today we break out the black with the 10 most popular band t-shirts of all times. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack,
drink or take drunk. All right, here we go. A man goes to throw his dog's poop bag away in a dumpster, and whoa, there is a bear in there. Meanwhile, a woman is miffed as for the 4th time her trash disappears from thin air. Man opens Twitter account and after 3 hours and 200 tweets finds himself in jail. Somehow Doctor Who was watching movie before crashing into a cop's legal team prevails. And a woman cat saves her life. For real. Her cat. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, 67% of U.S. households, or about 85 million families, own a pet. And more than half of the world's population has at least one pet living with them. We like our animals, although sometimes we have to ask ourselves, why? Now, sometimes the answer is obvious. As Miles just said, it's the case for an 83-year-old woman in England. She fell down a 70-foot ravine, and the only reason she was found before she died is because of her cat. It sat on top of her and continually meowed loudly until help arrived. Not bad for an animal that's usually described as, quote, a selfish bastard. Or how about the pet parrot in Michigan that helped police solve a murder? See, a woman killed her husband, and the parrot repeated their final conversation, which ended with the words, "Don't shoot." Of course, not every pet-human interaction is so dramatic. Most of the time, it's just stupid. In Vermont, firefighters had to rescue a dog that found a way to get trapped in the couch. And in England, a dog had to be rescued after it got stuck in a wine rack. Apparently, dogs, they just can't hold their liquor. And as for cats, they make for bad mechanics. And that's why firefighters in Kentucky had to help remove a kitten from the engine of a car. Look, it happens, and it happens enough that it's today's question of the day. Today, we just want to know this. Good or bad? What's the most impressive thing your pet has done?
Be a part of the Big Show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Bro, gnarly.
What's up, Taylor?
Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man.
Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro.
Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case.
Dude, no way.
You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Overtones and away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3527. What a large and in charge program we have for you today.
You think so?
Guaranteed future repeat. Ryan Castle once again will join us again from his basement bar studio dungeon there. We will sit and spin. And today we're going to break out the black t-shirt. We have the 10 most popular band t-shirts of all times. Most people have about 80% band t-shirts in the color black.
Yes.
It's not that all of them are black, but most of them, for the most part. I think in my personal stash of my t-shirt pile, bands and bars dominate for some reason. I'm the guy that will buy
for some reason,
the
I don't know. You like music and you like to drink.
Right.
I think I can connect the dots on this, Montgomery.
It just seems that I, if I see a t-shirt in a bar that I like, I'll buy that t-shirt. Then if I see one at a concert, I'll buy that t-shirt. Other than that, I don't really put myself in a shopping situation.
That's very true, man.
You know
but it's
very
situational. You want to remember the bands you saw. And you know what, with kids, I'm ashamed of myself now. I didn't pick up the Peppa Pig Live t-shirt when I took them to that. But that was a glorious night. Mm-hmm. Or the Disney on Ice. That was a winner. Yeah, for the 2-year-old daughter.
I had a buddy who he wore ironic band T-shirts back in the day.
Like
we were
Casey and the Sunshine Band?
21 years old, sure. If you could find a Britney T-shirt or whoever was popular that was young and you know what I mean?
Right.
He would wear New Kids on the Block. He would wear whatever, like Debbie Gibson. He would find them because they were like on sale at basically the equivalent of Walmart back then. It was Kmart.
But do they bother to print those shirts in blue? Like NSYNC, maybe. But like you said, Debbie Gibson. Did she have a black T-shirt or was it?
He had a Tiffany T-shirt. She was another pop star back in the day. Mm-hmm. It was kind of that thing because he was in a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
So when he would go on stage, you know what I mean? That was his kind of attire. He would always come out and he always wanted to wear like a brand new shirt that absolutely was the most ridiculous thing compared to what the audience would enjoy, so to speak, right?
But I think that's what some of those shirts are now. Like people from other genres. It's like cool. Like, I don't know if it's ironic or just cool now to be like, oh yeah, look, I really like Nirvana.
Sure. Right.
You know what I mean?
Not that they've been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
Not so bad.
But today we get the 10 most popular band T-shirts of all times, and this is based on a survey of a company that actually makes T-shirts and makes a lot of band T-shirts. So we have that coming up as we will sit and spin with Ryan Castle. And as you get more Men's Room every Monday through Friday at 6, coming up on the Men's Room Happy Hour, which is exclusively on the Odyssey app. We will leave the KISW airwaves. Head on over to the app. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download that bad boy now. Hundreds of new channels free to pick up, and also the Men's Room Happy Hour on there. And it's every day at 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday. As we go off the air, get to cover some topics we normally don't. Today, the return of the effing news and Man vs. Beast coming up. By the way, you can download the Odyssey app for free in App Store and Google Play. If you don't have that bad boy, then favorite, and you always have it up there. So at 6 o'clock rolls around and you want to listen to more Men's Room, you can do so right there on the Odyssey app.
We had a guy who emailed us today, said he checked out Appy Hour for the first time yesterday, and based on our subject matter, he said, man, and I cannot repeat what his email said, but he said, I'm setting an alarm on my phone so I don't miss it.
We appreciate that. We're glad you're enjoying the Men's Room Happy Hour. Okay, today on the program, our question, good or bad, what is the most impressive thing your pet has done? Let's start with this story, and I believe this happens over in Cornwall, England. And if I'm not mistaken, a listener of ours named Daniel is the president of the Cornwall, England fan club.
Is he Cornwall?
Yeah, Cornwall
okay.
of the Men's Room. He's got the chapter in Cornwall. Well, a woman went missing in Cornwall Saturday afternoon, and she was rescued thanks in part to the meows of her cat. A caregiver for the 83-year-old woman called authorities and was concerned about her whereabouts, according to Newsweek magazine. During the search, someone notified a rescuer that the cat, Piran, was meowing, and quite persistently meowing. And the noise then led rescuers and searchers down a 70-foot ravine, which the woman had fallen down, and on top of her sat her loyal feline, who was basically just sitting on her back, screaming and meowing as loud as they could.
Somebody here did say, quote, you know damn well that cat was just meowing because it was hungry.
Piran, the cat, saved the day, but either way, it worked. I mean, you know something's going on there. The owner was airlifted to a hospital. She's in stable condition. Should be doing a little bit better, but maybe she would never have been found if it wasn't for her cat.
It's much better than other story out of England where an older woman, she died in her home. They found her some weeks later, and her 3 cats had eaten about half of her.
Well, they will do that. I mean, depending on how long
If I can't save you, I'm going to eat you.
Let's stay over in England. On Monday, at approximately 2 in the afternoon, the Essex Junction Fire Department was dispatched to respond to a residence in the village of Essex for a dog that was trapped in a couch. Engine 5 and Car 9 responded with a total of 7 personnel, arriving to find a medium-sized dog trapped under a couch with its leg wedged by a metal part. The couch could not be moved without further harming the animal. It was a pull-out sofa, which I guess your kids just discovered and think it's wonderful, but there's a lot of metal working parts. When they tried to lift that, the animal was stuck in between the metal slats. They could not get the dog out.
Those things, I never enjoyed the sofa bed. It's always uncomfortable and all this, but we went on vacation, and we had a bedroom, and then in the living room was a pull-out couch.
That's what the
kids
are
So I pulled this thing out, and the kids were like, this is the coolest thing we've ever seen. And I said, I'm so glad you think so, because that's where you're sleeping. They
it is
thought
the
it was
truth,
badass.
though. We had one, like, we always had them when I was a kid. It was like, I don't know why. It was more exciting to sleep on the pull-out couch in the living room.
But they were death traps, right? I mean, just all the springs and all the metal bits, man.
But you're a kid, you don't weigh as much. So as far as the quality of the mattress is concerned, the fact that it's normally the couch placed in front of the television,
that went a long way.
Probably
that
a big part of it.
Long way.
You know, if you're having a sleepover with your buddies or whatever, you know, like you could stay up late, you could watch TV as long as you kept the noise down. And the couch didn't really affect you too much. And then the older you get, you realize that is the most uncomfortable place you can sleep other than a futon. And for the most part, you know, like if you're on one, now you're in someone's living room, which means that they're going to get up at 6 and start making coffee or something.
Which means you're going to get up at 6.
I think they have gotten better, though.
They have.
Because there's a hotel room, like one of the hotels I stay in whenever I go back to Maryland. Like, I always invite somebody over to come hang, and like before they show up, I just pull it out and be like, all right.
I think basically you have one, and then the first time you ever have to move it.
Oh my God!
You determine,
now that's the problem.
You determine that you're never going to buy one of these things again, and you're going to go air mattress because it's so heavy and so hard to maneuver out of an apartment building. You're like, this is just not worth the effort.
That's why your parents gave it to you when you moved out. And apparently, dogs, no idea how to use one.
Yeah, I was just saying, the one I sleep on the most is at a friend's house, but it's in a separate bedroom with a TV, and they put a foam thing on top.
Okay, so that sounds pretty comfortable.
It's great.
Yeah.
And it's dark in there, no windows. It's like a hotel, Miles. You'd love it.
Well, for
no
approximately...
windows. Sounds like a jail cell, brother.
Sounds like the basement that caught on fire where you used to live. Well, for approximately 30 minutes, firefighters, they utilized lift bags, cribbing, hydraulic spreaders, hand tools to disassemble the metal parts of the couch for the reclining section. Finally, the metal section with the dog's leg that was wedged was able to be moved enough for the dog to free its leg with some assistance. The dog was transported by the homeowner to the veterinary clinic for emergency care. The leg was cut. There was a laceration on there. They departed the scene it took 45 minutes.
Damn.
To get the dog out from underneath the couch.
And I bet you got trapped in about 15 seconds.
So our question, whether it was a good thing, whether it was impressive, whether it was bad, like I cannot believe what has been done to my house. What is the most impressive thing that your pet has done? 206-421-ROCK.
And we got a few early comments. It says, my Schnauzer ate a 5-pound block of moldy cheddar cheese straight out of the garbage and asked all over the place. But they add, I was impressed. Someone else with a pet snake says, my pet python stopped someone from punching me because she bit his nose when he was up in my face right before he tried to punch me. Guy ran off like a little bitch. Well, he was just bitten in the face by a python.
You had a python around your neck.
I'm assuming that's where the snake was.
And you have a snake around your neck, and somebody's going to give you the business? I think that, you know what I mean, like...
Yeah, I couldn't talk S to a guy with a python around his neck.
You're not going to get into a fight.
Typically, they're like bigger dudes, at least in my experience.
Yeah.
I wouldn't punch you in the face even if you didn't have it.
Even if you look like somebody that could kill me, but you have a chihuahua on your lap, right? Yeah, this is not the time for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your dog with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might want to...
You can get fights with dogs.
You think you can...
And chihuahuas are annoying, so I wouldn't mind punching you in the face.
I just think if somebody's got their pet with them, you know, like, game off on fighting. You know what I mean? Like, maybe another time. Maybe another time. So you get your pet with you. I don't want them to have to see this.
Here's the difference. If they got a Rottweiler, probably not going to punch you because your dog's going to protect you. Chihuahua, I'm okay with it.
You would be surprised. That Chihuahua might bite you in the face quicker than you could even blink.
I understand
Jump
that.
Up
But I know in the end, the Chihuahua's done. I know he might bite me.
Right.
He also might die. The Rottweiler might bite me, and I'm going to scream like a bitch.
And you might die.
Right.
And you'd be surprised how many fights start because of dogs.
Seriously.
Really?
Well, just because people walk them and other people think you shouldn't be pooping in your yard, whether you pick it up or not. Like, literally, I've seen it before. And somebody be like, I'm going to walk it here. Mm-hmm. You walk it here, I'm going to punch you. And the fight happened.
I mean, if the guy owns the property and says, hey, don't walk it here, I'm not going to say, you know what? I'm going to have my dog S in your yard. I'd be like, fair enough. It's your yard.
Yeah, it was like the little strip in between.
Oh, God. Okay.
The sidewalk and the street.
Who technically owns that? Because that is always a hot source of debate between people.
The city does.
The city. You have to maintain it.
The guy walking the dog, that was his point. He said, I'm going to pick it up either way. The other guy said, you never pick it up. I guess it's been going on for weeks, but finally it came down and, a fight happened.
This is how I know this, because I've got this tree in the strip right in front of my house.
Right.
The tree is basically now into my gutters, into my house, into the neighbors. It's covering all the power lines. The tree hangs so low that you can't feasibly walk under it on the sidewalk because the branches came down, right? So even people who are walking at night, if I'm out smoking, I hear them bang their head on the branch all the time, which is somewhat funny. You know what I'm saying? But,
all right.
But at the same point in time, like, it needs to be trimmed up.
Sure.
So I was going to trim it up. Like, I asked this guy, he was like cutting the neighbor's thing, you know what I mean? Stripping it on their trees. And I was like, hey, man, if I just throw you cash, we just take a couple of these branches down. He's like, you can't do it, man. It's illegal. You got to call the city. So, of course, I called the city and I said, hey, man, I got this tree. It's like it's in the power lines now. It's doing all this stuff. Like, it needs to just be cut back a little bit. Is there anybody that can do that? And they said, no, but you can't. So I was like, okay.
So no one can do it, but you can't do it either.
But I can't do it. But I still am the one who has to take care of the property. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am responsible for taking care of it, but I really can't do anything to improve it or help it.
I did not learn that until we had the big snow over the winter, right? So all the snow came down, and I was just going to shovel out our driveway. Then my wife's like, well, the old lady next door, we should shovel it for her too, which I kept my mouth shut and talked to him. And then my wife keeps going. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, we also have to shovel the sidewalk that runs, along the line of the property. I said, well, I thought that was the city's thing. If I do anything, they get all pissy, right? And she's like, well, yeah, but apparently it's still on us. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, I got to take care of the sidewalk when it gets iced over. I mean, what is that? Once every 2 or 3 years, maybe. But still, I mean, it's just like, it's not yours. Good or bad? What's the most impressive thing your pet has done? 206-421-ROCK.
Do you think anybody would notice if you just trimmed it a little bit? Like, is a city inspector going to come by?
You know it works. It'll be the exact moment that a city inspector who's having coffee with a police officer is driving by, and Miles is going to go out there, and they're going to say, hey, you work for the city. He says no, and then you get some stupid fine.
I was going to ask Steve. He's got one of those poles, you know what I mean, with the saw on the end.
Yeah,
the tree trimming poles.
Mm-hmm. All right,
just to get the one branch down that keeps
don't do it.
People get banged in the head with. You know what I mean?
No, keep that one. That's funny.
Yeah,
you're smoking
to some degree, but I've seen like an old guy take a header on that thing in the middle of the day.
Still funny. America's Funniest Home Videos. It's mostly elderly people and children.
Do you have a ring cam?
Nobody. No, I don't. I wouldn't catch it. God, that's great though.
I mean, like Phil's got a point. Like people are taking headers left and right. Like you should be filming this.
You have to understand, man. This is not the generation where you walk down the street. This is the generation where you keep your head down because you're looking at your phone. So, 60% of the people that walk by my house have their head down
bad.
looking at their phone. Boom! I mean, it's just like, it's the whole, it's a carnival of errors is basically what it is.
But that's why you look up when you were walking.
I understand that, but most people do not.
People trip into a fountain because they're looking at their phone. Like, that's hilarious to me. Like, you're looking at your phone. You knew you were walking, dumbass. Mm-hmm. So keep that, even if you trim the rest, keep the low branch. That's what I would say.
All right.
Keep the comedy coming. Hello, Frank. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola.
So, Frank, is this good or bad?
I'd say it's pretty good.
Okay. Would you like us to pry the story out of us, or do you want to just tell us?
I can go for it. All right. So, me and my younger sister, we had a family dog, golden retriever, and he wasn't a small dog by any means, but he's a little more than a medium dog, pretty big. And we're walking this dog at the dog park, and there's this one rowdy dog, like this big, like mutt of some sort. I don't know, maybe pit bull, something else. He was a mean dog, but he was rowdy, and kept running into me and my sister just because he was super clumsy or whatnot. And my dog was pretty protective and loyal to us, so he just had enough. And one time, this dog ran into us and kept running in a circle, and my dog stood there, no teeth showing, no growling or anything, just stood, puffed his chest out, timed it just right, and picked his paw up and just smacked the dog from his paw, just smacked the dog down. And this dog cowered like I've never seen before. He rolled up on his back and just confused that he just got whooped by a golden retriever.
I've never seen a dog bitch slap another dog.
I've seen a cat do it a lot.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like cats do it all the time, but dogs usually, it's all teeth. And I've never seen a dog pick up its paw and just get the F out of my face.
Especially with a big, soft, golden retriever paw.
You think it still feels soft when a bitch slaps you?
I don't know. I've never been bitch slapped by a dog.
That's what I mean.
That's a new move.
I've been bitch slapped by a cat.
Many times.
Millions of cats, right? Because that's just what they do. I don't even know if they're...
I've been hit with a combination from cat.
Man, they are fast.
You never been mushed by a dog?
No.
You mush when with your buddy, you just kind of shove their face away.
No.
I've definitely been mushed by a dog.
Really? What kind of dog was it?
A lab.
Oh, yeah.
Who just likes to get away from me?
Yeah.
No, I've never had that.
It's always
golden retrievers are the nicest dogs in the world.
They are, but a golden once in a while will bite somebody. But yeah, I was hanging out with a couple labs, and the one older dog finally was just like, all right.
Enough of
you. Enough for you. Go play with the other one.
You expect to be bitten by a dog. If someone says I was attacked by a dog, you expect that the story ends with they got bitten or they're almost bitten. Bitch slap me. That's just not your normal dog story.
No.
All my dogs do a lot of bitch slapping.
Good or bad, what's the most impressive thing that your pet has done? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Johnny. Welcome to the men's room.
Boo, bitches.
Boo,
Johnny.
Yeah, Thrill, have you ever owned a boxer? They bitch slap you all the time.
They just call it a boxer.
That is
when it's built into the name.
They're known for working their jack.
That really is their move, man.
Yeah, I got a puppy right now. She's about 14 weeks old, but that's not my story. Back, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, I think it was, it was a rat dog. It was like a rat terrier and chihuahua or whatever. And she would jump up on your shoulder when you got your bubbler out or if you got your 2-foot bong. And she would just, you could see the smoke go right into her nose and come right back out. And she was the most chillest dog ever. But one night, I think we brought over a half pound of shrooms, and an eighth ended up missing somewhere. I don't know if it fell on the floor. Well, obviously it did. And I remember sitting in that Loverboy seat, watching the walls breathe in and breathe out, and my arms, my legs just getting sucked into this lever seat. And Huxtable was on TV, and I saw a homeboy sitting there halfway his chest is, sitting on the carpet, sitting there talking to me, and I look over, and that rat dog was sitting there watching the same thing for about an hour.
And then the one time in its life it actually understood the words.
Man, my dog would my dog would look at your pint of beer and then look at you. And then look at him, I'm like, all right.
That dog, Jesus
I'll give you
Christ.
a sip, man. He would stare at the beer, then he'd look at me like, you going to give me some of that? And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, and I'd give him a little bit, and then he'd come back and he'd want more. And I was like, one night when Maybe people were out of town. Me and him threw down. He kind of had a little fun, got a little intoxicated.
That dog begged for beer like most dogs beg for food.
I couldn't. It was he was relentless.
He literally had a problem. Like you go, like, man, I drank
it worked.
It did, but beer.
Well, you raced him one night in a bowl.
He was quicker. But he drank his beer like that all the time.
I know, you weren't used to it. That was a new technique.
I wasn't ready.
Good or bad, what's the most impressive thing that your pet has done? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Hey, all of Macholas, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room is in progress.
Kicks for Kids Week. DJ and Migs, they've teamed up with the fine folks at Mary's Place to put a brand new pair of sneakers and shoes on kids in need before they go back to school. We will do Kicks for Kids Day on Friday. Woo! Right here on The Rock. Every single dollar counts. Keep in mind, Mary's Place, they take all the money, and then they distribute that money so that the kids can buy the pair of shoes they want.
Right.
They want to go into the school year feeling confident, prepared, and a lot of kids, they need a new pair of shoes. We're going to hook them up. All this week, head to KISW.com, donate any amount you can, and then Friday is officially Kicks for Kids Day. Right here on The Rock.
We have a jingle or something for
We're going
that,
to do
man?
some good, man. Kicks for Kids Day?
I mean, like we've been talking about it all week. We're going to talk about it all day Friday. We're going to do it all day Friday. It just sounds like it should have a jingle.
Kicks for kids.
I got a guy we can work on that with.
Now you're thinking.
We also have a barbershop quartet that we can always give a emergency phone call to.
Ooh, let's see if we can pull that off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Join us for Cakes for Kids Day Friday right here on The Rock. And in the meantime, please, if you have anything that you can donate, head to KISW.com. On a question, good or bad, what is the most impressive thing that your pet has done? 206-421-ROCK.
I like this one. It says, I had a dog that was 13 months old, black lab. I left her in her kennel while I went to the store. I came home, and there was S literally all over my walls, but not a drop of crap in the kennel. I have no idea to this day how the F she pulled that off.
That is amazing.
That really is,
and
man.
you don't have a Roomba.
Right. You think she just, blew it through the slats and...
Yeah.
And that's
Probably,
it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what I would do.
You know, Tigger had an iron stomach. One time on Thanksgiving, he ate a whole pumpkin pie.
Really?
To this day, I don't know how he got up there, but they were cooling on I don't know what they were on top of. We came home, there was just an empty pie tin. He was fine.
Yeah.
I've seen him eat massive amounts of chicken wing bones that he got out of the garbage.
Like the last thing he should
We were
eat,
not letting, right. And he was fine. I had a sister that threw a giant party once, and when I got back to my high school, everybody's like, dude, your dog's crazy, man. He was smoking weed with us and eating pizza.
Jesus.
Like, what do you mean he was smoking weed? Well, we kept blowing it in his face, and then he ate half a pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids got him high.
Down in Magnuson Park, there was a kid's birthday party going on, right?
All right.
Dog's down there, dog's at the beach, running around, you know what I mean, doing its thing. And, all it takes is 30 seconds. I turn around, and Chewy's running at me, and she has an entire hot dog in bun in her mouth, right?
Oh, that's not good.
Mustard, the whole deal. She's got it like she's holding a stick.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, it's not the regular way you eat a hot dog. She's got that thing long ways in her mouth. And she's running up to me, and she gets down, and she starts tearing into the hot dog. I'm like, oh, God. So just like a kid, I'm going to try to break this thing up. She's not going to be happy with this. But either way, I'm looking. And there's 25 kids, right? There's a playground. Some kids have the drinks, they have their hot dogs, and they're still playing, whatever. So, I'm looking to see where this hot dog came from. You know what I mean? Whatever. And then I look, and this girl, she starts looking, and she goes over to this bench, and she picks up her drink, and she's looking, and then she just bursts into tears. Oh, and I'm pretty sure that was her hot dog.
Oh, yeah, that was her hot dog.
And I was like, dude, come on, you're killing me. Good or bad, what's the most impressive thing your pet has done? 206-421-ROCK.
I mean, I think that one's on you.
Oh, definitely on me.
Yeah,
that's a question. It's on me.
Did you walk the dog back in that area? Just be like, it's time to go.
It's not the dog, it's the owner, man. All the time.
Mommy, there's my hot dog.
I'm not saying you're responsible for that. One,
that me, man.
Good or bad, that is on you, man.
Yeah.
It would have only been better if you would split it with the dog. All right, give me half. As long as we're harassing children, at least I should get a snack.
Right.
I mean, how far away were the kids?
I mean, it wasn't that. They were 20 feet away. You know, but I did not.
Did they see your dog eating the hot dog?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe anybody did. I don't. I really, that was the one thing I was like,
was there a father there?
There were parents everywhere.
Okay, then no.
I mean, there are people standing around. You know what I mean? The parents, the adults are talking. It's a birthday party. You know, and these kids were 4 or 5 years old.
That's the age you're going to cry when a dog steals your hot dog.
They're doing all the jungle gyms and the slides and all that stuff, but that doesn't mean they're not sitting their food down everywhere. And this dog is food obsessed.
Sure.
So I mean, it was.
Well, it's a dog that sees a free hot dog.
I know that. And I could smell the barbecue going, and I knew they were having a birthday party, and I just turned my head for 2 minutes to do something.
I mean, my dog
turned it back around. Yeah,
my dog never did me dirty, but the time I was humiliated, there was a what do they call it around here? It's like the neighborhood night out or something.
Sure.
Where they closed down entire streets, whatever. And so it's that night. I'm unaware of this initially, but I'm walking down Dayton. This is in Greenwood. And one of the cross streets, 103rd or something, they had blocked it off. And so there's 40 people out there. And they'd set up picnic tables and doing all this stuff. And I'd seen all these people before because we live in a neighborhood. No big deal. They know my dog more or less. They see me with the dog. I'm a dude who always picks up the dog's poop, no big deal. And anytime I take the dog out, I grab the plastic bag. At this time, I was using discarded grocery bags, okay? Now this S is tied around the leash. But anyway, stuff it in my back pocket. I am walking down the street. I realize, oh, man, it's neighborhood night out. All these people are there, and everyone's in a really good mood. So even when they see you, oh, hey,
what's that, man?
Hey, join us if you want to grab a beer. I'm like, cool. But so I can feel my dog tugging on the leash. She's got to poop. No big deal. It's on the intersection of the street, essentially, in the grass. So she poops, and all these people are looking at me because they've just invited me over, all right? And I reach in my back pocket to pick up the poop, and I realize the bag has blown out of my back pocket.
Oh, now you're going to be that guy.
Dude, like I said, it's not the dog's fault. Normally, that wasn't even her pooping place. Mm-hmm. Just pooping. Whatever. No problem. I'm going to pick it up, and then hell yeah, I'm going to grab a beer.
It's amazing how guilt hits you,
man.
What the trigger?
And I didn't do anything wrong.
It's just you did.
It wasn't there, man.
Right, but I don't believe you. I'm standing over there going, "Look at this." Of course they would. Jerkhead neighbor over there doesn't pick up his crap.
I didn't even bother to explain it. I'm like, don't even do this, man. I reach in my pocket, it's not there, so I just they're all staring at me, and they're waiting for me to pick up the poop, and ain't gonna happen, man. I don't have the bag. I felt like such an ass when I left. I told my wife, I'm like, I don't want to see any.
Did you go back and pick it up?
I did later. You know what was annoying is we kind of lived in this alley, so as I take the dog back, and I'm already humiliated, I see where the plastic bag is blown out, and it's blown up against the side of the house, all right? So I pick it up and put the dog in. I go back down to pick it up, and at that point, they think I'm just doing it because I got busted.
No.
Right? That's the whole thing. So anytime they see any dog poop just errantly still sitting in the grass, they're going to assume it was me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would.
So I know you would. I would too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. They think the only reason I was busted. It sucked.
Good or bad, what's the most impressive thing that your pet has done? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Joe. Welcome to the bedroom.
Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, give me a second.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins.
So I actually have two stories, one involving my pet and one involving an animal that I saw do something that was incredible.
All right.
So I have a Bengal cat, and they are incredibly intelligent cats, and he would get up on the counter and get to our butter dish. So we went and bought a scat mat and
I'm sorry?
put it up on the counter. A scat mat.
That's where my cat sings.
It was the Catman Scruthers version of it.
I see.
Right.
Oh, man, those are beautiful cats. They don't look like they're that big. I've never heard of a Bengal cat before.
Little leopards, right?
They really do.
Yeah. They could be anywhere from 8 pounds to almost 30, depending on who you get it from. But
now,
they're gorgeous.
is that considered an exotic cat?
Yes.
Okay, so is that like a cat from Africa or something, or what?
It is it's a domestic cat crossbred with an African cat.
Huh. So is there danger involved in this?
Well, they can be quite a bit more wild. It all depends. So they start out as what they call an F1, and that's the closest to a wild cat, and that's what you hear. Sometimes people will call a Savannah cat or something like that as an African cat crossbred with a domestic. And the further down the Fs you go, the further removed they are from the actual wild cat that they're crossbred with.
Okay.
So they get more and more tame.
I see. Okay, so that's the highest point of the spectrum then?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So our Bengal would get up and get into the butter dish. We got the scat mat, and about 15 minutes after I put the scat mat up, we hear him jump up, and then this big crash because he got popped. So he spent the next several days, maybe a week, just studying this mat and figured out how he can walk across it in areas that he wouldn't get shocked so he could get to the butter again.
Damn, man.
That's impressive. Do you still have this cat?
No, that's annoying.
Yeah, it's both, and yes, we still have him.
Okay, I got to ask. Because, if you have a Ferrari, right, and you go get an oil change, it's, a couple $1,000s. Or somebody else, you can go to Jiffy Lube and get it done for $50. Now, is the same true when you take this cat? Do you have to go to a special place, a special veterinarian? You know what I mean? Like somebody, and then do they charge you more because it's
because it's that kind of cat?
Yeah, it's an exotic cat, like an exotic sports car.
Well, it depends on the vet. If it's like a place that specializes in cats, then it's no problem. But generally the average run-of-the-mill vet.
I just came up with a great name for my cat-specific veterinary practice, but I can't say it on the air.
But this does not, honest to God, this does not this does not look like an approachable cat. Like some cats have that look like maybe they would, they put their tail up and they'll come up.
No cat looks approachable.
I know, but you always know the feeling. Like
it's a game show.
If I walked into your house and be like, get that damn thing away from me.
Sure. But to me, it's a game show. Like, okay, approach the cat. Will he get slapped in the face or won't he?
But he still looks pretty small.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it's a cat,
But
man.
they can get up to 30 pounds, right?
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
And they're big when they're up to 30 pounds. They're probably damn near 2 feet long. They're massive.
Are you comfortable with that, man? Because not only is it that big, but to your point, man, it studied this electric mat like the Raptors in goddamn Jurassic Park to figure out how to do something because it wanted butter that bad.
I'm just glad that he's way smaller than me because he would probably murder me in my sleep.
It says they love water. Does this mean that cat will go swimming?
Not swimming per se. If they got into water, they'd swim. But they'll do a lot of stuff where they'll take their paws and put it in water and drink it that way, or get in your faucet if you have a faucet running and they can get near it. They'll stick their heads in there and drink and that kind of stuff. They're not afraid of water. So like the spray bottle to try and train them to do things just doesn't work. They're like, whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Everything about this cat sounds like a bad decision. Now, has she brought you any gifts home? Like the occasional mouse, but with a cat that big, anything significant, like a hawk?
No, he's a smaller one, but if he goes outside probably in the last month and a half, he has killed a mouse and a mole in our yard.
Sweet. Okay.
All right.
So he's at least he's doing something, doing his chores.
What's the lifespan on this semi-dangerous thing?
They average probably 15 to 18 years.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's 15 right now. He was literally born in our driveway. We didn't know his mom was pregnant, and he was born at our house. So we've literally had him since.
That whore.
Do they have to be Cincinnati Bengal fans if they are in fact a Bengal cat?
Indeed.
Oh, see, that sucks. That's the worst.
That's the worst part of its life. That's why it's grumpy.
No wonder.
Right.
That's why he's so angry.
That would be terrible. Good or bad? What's the most impressive thing your pet has done? 206-421-ROCK.
That does sound like a cat you'd want to take on.
That thing? I'm looking at it right now. No.
Yeah.
I guess.
Maybe it's just cats.
If you got a teeny tiny. Well, then again, if the cat was born in your home, I feel a little bit more confident about if you're raising the animal that you'll better be able to understand it, and it won't be as you know what I mean, maybe crazy to you.
You lack all kinds of confidence in that statement. I know what you mean, but you don't even sound like you mean it.
It's a guess.
But it's also, it's a domesticated cat. I take my chances with him.
I know. I'm just saying, cat. Even my cat.
Compared to the feral cat that I brought home.
I was going to say, I mean, no offense, but I'd try to hang out with this cat before RIP, but, what's it, Senor?
Dr. Gomez?
Dr. Gomez.
Yeah.
Miles, I would take on any cat before I'd take on any cat of yours that I've met.
The cat didn't mind you.
Well, no, I was all right with it.
Yeah, exactly. See, he had his moments.
But what about all the scratches on your face?
That was not
Look
good.
at my nose.
Exactly, man. He split it wide open.
He tripped me down the stairs.
It's half my face, man. He just opened his mouth and he got lucky. I mean, because it's 90% of my face. Good or bad, what's the most impressive thing your pet has ever done? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Wes. Welcome to the men's room.
Tequila.
Hola.
All right, so I'm going to preface this story with my dog is a good dog. He just so he's actually like fought two people who tried to break into my house when I was living in Texas.
Wow.
But Mike wanted me to go with the funny one. So I was living in Alabama going to flight school, so I would get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning every morning just to go sit in my car, smoke cigarettes, and study, and then catch the bus to the flight line. But this morning, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So what I can only describe as the worst smell I've ever smelled. And my dog, Gunner, had sprayed the wall, sprayed the carpet in the master bedroom going like right before the bathroom, and then filled 3 pair of tennis shoes or running shoes with vile diarrhea.
What kind of dog was this again?
He's a boxer Rotnik.
Okay.
So you said, did he, I know he sprayed the walls of carpet, but did it look like he was trying to poop in your shoes, like trying to save the floor, or did it just happen to cover them?
I don't know, because the dog, when I adopted him from the ASPCA, they're like, he will not go in the kennel. You have to put him outside. You have to have a yard with a fence. So he's very well potty trained. We'll come to find out, because I woke up my roommate, because I'm gagging and I was throwing up in the bathroom. It was so bad. I woke up my roommate, and I'm like, dude, my dog's crapped everywhere. And he's like, oh, yeah, I gave him some table scraps from the steak that
Jesus, man.
See, it's always that person. It's also, too, when you go to a sitter or somebody, because people are just like, here, he likes me. Because you're giving them Cheetos. That's exactly what I got to ask. So you're in flight school. You got a dog named Gunner. I'm assuming, did you wear Ray-Bans? I mean, did you just go full Top Gun? You know what I mean? Like, did you get a Jeep Wrangler and all that stuff?
Nah.
All right.
Hey, I listened to a lot of Kenny Loggins, but I did not buy a Jeep Wrangler.
All right, okay.
We were just checking out Kenny Loggins today.
Did you have a motorcycle?
That's cool gear.
Did you have a motorcycle?
I did have a motorcycle.
All right,
I had a Yamaha V-Star bobber that I bobbed out with my old first sergeant.
Knew it to be a Yamaha.
Was it easier to kick game when you're in flight school than other military jobs, so to speak?
Yeah, all you got to say is I'm a pilot.
Yeah.
That's it. How easy was this in a bar in Alabama? I mean, I got to know.
Oh,
it almost seems like the movie.
I wasn't going to bars in Alabama. I was going south to Panama City, Pensacola.
And how did that work out for you?
It worked out great, especially when you have a dog, because he's a pea magnet.
He's got a dog.
Dog named Gunner.
He's right. He's hanging out in Panama City Beach, like Pensacola. Like, those are fun little towns in the redneck Riviera.
Mm-hmm.
That we get it, man.
It was great. But no, he's a great dog. It's just that one morning, and then he's like, I told my roommate, I'm like, you're buying a shampoo, like a carpet shampooer, bro. I'll see you later.
Look, you didn't have to explain to dogs potty training. Diarrhea is next level. Like any adult that's crapped their pants, they had diarrhea. They didn't just poop in their pants.
Oh, yeah. And try doing it in the middle of a desert in Afghanistan. That's real fun.
Ooh, I'm good.
Sounds like a game show win.
Yeah. Do you? And the toilet paper probably isn't that good either, is it?
Oh God, no. That's why you have to buy baby wipes or get them sent over to you.
Was it single ply?
Oh yeah, dude. We get everything that's made by the lowest bidder.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If I were president of the United States, all women's sizes would be universal, and all toilet paper would have to be 2-ply at least. Otherwise, you go to jail for 400
but porta
years.
potties and stuff can only be single.
How do you do at the bars in Afghanistan when you tell people there you're a pilot?
Nah, yeah. Nowadays, I don't know how good you would be doing.
Yeah, no kidding.
Actually, be like help.
Right. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, pooping in the desert in a porta potty sucks.
Why is that?
You say that like we wouldn't have guessed
the
that.
Smell?
it's so hot. And then I'm pretty regular, but you're still you're on vacation. So it's like 10 a.m. 11, but by 10:30 in the morning, the sun's up. It's super hot. You can hear everybody driving by. Sometimes people like knock on the back of them, like,
sure,
hurry up. But I mean, it's hard to go.
A lot of pressure.
And I mean, I'm just drenched in sweat. Like, I was annoyed with one of my friends because he was using the RV, and I said, hey, you got to go through the hell that is trying to poop with those porta potties.
He was pooping in the RV?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was allowed.
Okay. How many times did you have that shame and guilt when you open the door after a sweaty poop and there's someone standing there waiting?
Oh, there's always somebody waiting.
Okay. And you know what they're walking into.
Well, it's almost awkward, too, because sometimes, again, you're in the desert. It's super hot. So, you hop on your bike, you're just wearing a pair of shorts, you're not wearing a shirt, and you just have your toilet paper with you. And it's just like...
Guess what I'm doing?
It's very obvious.
All right, I'm going to...
Might as well have a newspaper under the other arm.
Right, everybody knows what you're doing.
Like Jim Small. I
was saying, but also, too, they have, little stands, right, that have all the hand sanitizer. Yeah. So I told you, one day I'm just sitting there, and it's like, you're putting on the hand sanitizer, and I'm talking to a woman. I do not see her. She's laughing and stuff, and I look up. I mean, probably to this day, one of the most attractive naked women I've ever seen in my life.
And you missed what percentage of that looking down at your hands?
Right, because I was just trying to get clean. But in my head, it was like, keep talking. She thinks you're not a weirdo. Because it was hard not to just stop.
She thinks I'm not a weirdo.
Yeah, to be like, holy cow, you're hot.
Well, I didn't know about, pooping in the RV. That's one of those unwritten rules. You know, if you go to a guitar center, don't be surprised if by the guitars they have a sign that says no stairway.
Seriously.
It's just an unwritten rule. So I thought, if you went even to rent an RV, they'd have a sign in the office that says no pooping in the RV, guys.
Hey, look, it is. But when one person maybe chips in a little more for the RV,
it's like,
we got it serviced once during the week, you know what? That person's allowed to poop in there as much as they want.
It's like getting a master bedroom if you spring the most for the hotel room.
Yes, correct. Yes. You enjoy it in there.
Good or bad, what's the most impressive thing that your pet has done? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.